Hello, viewers. I'm SB,
And I'm Amabel.
and welcome back to Avowed, where we are. What is it that we're avowing anyway? Are we the ones who
I
are
don't know.
avowed?
I'm assuming that's gonna show up like a title like that probably gonna show up in the last like it'll be a real thing at the end. The previous game these people made that we played with Pentiment and that was like real thematic at the end.
Okay.
I'm sure Fallout New Vegas was I'm sure that title made sense by the end.
Yeah, well, everybody remembers the climactic lines of that game. It turns out we were the Fallout New Vegas all along. So there's a
Look
ton of
at
stuff
me.
to
Look at
read.
me. I'm the Fallout New Vegas now.
I'm the New Vegas now. That's actually not that dissimilar from what does happen.
Oh no.
So there's a lot of stuff to read in this building.
Right.
We're gonna start reading it. We're gonna get familiar with all of the diplomatic goings on here. So this is from Claviger Imund. Is he the one who's dead? Amabel. Amabel, I don't remember who we saved and who was dead.
It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
No,
we got into a lot.
an
I
ambassador.
got hit in the head by a lot of bears on the way back, and so I'm a little shaky as to the facts. Ambassador Hilgard, I have maintained order in Paradise for many years. I know this city. When there is a good leader and fair policy, there is peace. But you have allowed the steel garrote to terrorize my people, to sow distrust and fear. I suggest you tighten your Inquisitor's leash, or the embassy might not carry your banners for long. Oh. Alright, so the Claviger doesn't like the way that the ambassador is coming in and doing things. In approximately 2200 AI, a group of tribes called the People of the Deer unified into a new civilization called the Adir Kingdom. The tribes, small and widespread over the land, knew it would be better for their continued existence to unify. The leaders of each tribe became advisors to the king, chosen by the group. Each advisor would still be lord over his people, but each lord would answer to the Fairkoning, as the first king. This decision was exactly what was needed, and the Adiran kingdom thrived, spreading across the land and establishing strong trade routes. The Adirans became known as fair but shrewd businessmen. I really love the tone of this. Like, as told to you by the Adir Empire, the formation of the Adir Empire, just such a good idea. Really genius move. Could anyone imagine a fairer or more shrewd thing to do? While the country thrived and internally there was little strife, there were still the occasional skirmishes with the neighboring elven kingdom of Kolklin. Not long after the kingdom was formed, the Adiran people began studying animancy. Still largely unknown at the time, animancy was an exciting, terrifying new realm in which Adiran scholars saw great potential.
Book covers are real crazy.
This potential came to bear fruit in 2260 AI when a group of animancers working together transferred the soul of a recently departed man into another body, creating the first of what would later become known as the Undead. Now that's an Animorphs cover that I want to see. It's just a time lapse of somebody rotting. The reaction to this discovery was swift and decisive. Both the King of Adir and the Church of Wotica condemned this event, and the study or practice of animancy was outlawed. It would never again be practiced openly on Adiran soil. And the poor zombie's like, what did I do? Conflicts with Kolklin continued, escalating into a minor war in 2398 AI. Afterward, a treaty was signed and the Kingdom of Adir merged with Kolklin to form the Adir Empire. I guess things did not go very well for Kolklin. In order for that to be the way that turned out. With the political and military strife now settled, the Adir Empire would become an economic powerhouse. Able to acquire and generate resources that were difficult to obtain in other parts of the world, the Empire's trade routes became some of the most lucrative in the world. Okay, just sort of like a real back of the envelope kind of explanation of how we got to this point, sort of sociologically.
Yeah.
This is Teen's diary. Dear diary.
Just like a little girl. Dear diary.
Like a little girl?
Yeah, like a little
because of the word diary?
Yeah.
Amabel. All kinds of people keep diaries. Dear Diary, here I am in the living lands. This island might not be the safest vacation spot, but it's certainly the most colorful. And also the most flavorful, according to these mushrooms. And mushrooms seldom lie. Before I forget, I promised Bakarna I'd bring back a souvenir. There's rumor of a fallen star in Emerald Stair. Could be a nice addition to her collection. A message is scribbled on the inside cover. If found, please return to Tane the Archmage, author of Tane's Chaotic Orb.
Okay.
Do you think that Tane's Chaotic Orb is the name of is it the name of a spell? Or like a newsletter?
Question. Thank you for doing that. Here's the thing, I haven't heard, I only hear you do that voice like at 3 a.m. when you're recording and I happen to wake up. So it's never really come up in one of the things that we've done. So I was really happy. Thank you for doing that for me.
There aren't a lot of children in the games we play, I guess.
Yeah.
Steel Garrot report. We found this book on a public bench. After careful study, our scribe confirmed the handwriting matches the signature found on scrolls of Tane's Chaotic Orb. Be advised that Tane is in the living lands. As a member of the Circle of Archmagi, he has license to go where he pleases. We will observe him at a distance, but no one is to engage him. Tane is either a harmless fool or one of the most dangerous people alive. We simply can't take that chance. Wait, can't take what chance? The chance of engaging him?
The chance that, well, is he harmless or dangerous? We can't take a chance with that.
But what's the chance? It's not worded in a way as to... Okay, never mind.
It's a coin flip. Maybe he's good. Maybe he's a doofus.
I'm saying grammatically it doesn't make sense. Not that the idea...
I agree.
Okay. The Adir Empire, Part 2, Expanding Borders. In 2602 AI, Adirian explorers returned from over the ocean, telling tales of the ruins and treasures there, and of expansive fields that were perfect for growing Vorlas. And who doesn't love a good Vorla? The explorers warned the Fairkoning that the locals were not friendly to outsiders, but the Fairkoning, seeing this as an opportunity to extend his empire and secure trade on another continent, sent more explorers. He's after some of those expansion stars. They're hard to get after a certain point, you know? Over the next 20 years, the area that would become the Direwood was investigated, mapped, and colonized. In 2623, the first permanent Adirian colonial settlements were established. Vorlas fields were set up north of the forests in the Direwood. They say Deerwood, don't they? We've heard people say this word. They say Deerwood. But between the conflicts with the Glanfathans and the War of the Broken Stone, it floundered. It wasn't until 2643 that the opportunity presented itself again. Some Eothasian pilgrims, wanting to escape persecution, established colonies and Vorlas farming operations in the territory of Ridseras. With Grand Valia on the verge of collapse, the Fairkoning wanted to ensure his hold on the purple dye trade would be established. He encouraged the settlement and even paid to have the pilgrims set up in the New World. Because the Fairkoning was still trying to secure his name in the purple dye trade, he was unable to properly respond to Admeth Hadret when he issued his ultimatum. To avoid a rebellion and leave himself time to oversee the Vorlas farms in Ridseras, the Fairkoning relented and made Admeth a Gref Palatine. This is starting to feel like when you pick up a book in Caves of Cud.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, that's a string of nouns. In return for this concession, Admeth spent time and resources on the Deerwood's trade and shipping routes, benefiting the Fairkoning with increased income. For 7 years, the Deerwood provided Adir with a steady income, leaving the Fairkoning time to ensure his trade system in Ridseras was strong. With the Fairkoning's attention elsewhere, Admeth instituted the 10 Years Treaties, ending slavery in the Deerwood and permanently removing one of the revenue sources provided by Deerwooden explorers, the artifacts from the ruins scattered throughout. At this point, the Fairkoning's word meant almost nothing to the citizens of the Deerwood. Admeth Hadret had replaced him as their true leader. In order to undermine Admeth's standing, the Fairkoning found allies willing to explore the ruins against the treaty conditions and plunder them. Soon, Adir again had a supply of artifacts to sell. When his agents were eventually caught, the Fairkoning distanced himself from the operation, certain that there was no way to link him to the proceedings. But the Gref, using means provided to him by his Glanfathan allies, discovered the evidence needed to prove the Fairkoning was behind the plunderers. The conflict that arose from this revelation led to Admeth declaring independence for the Deerwood in 2668 AI. After a bloody 4-year-long war that resulted in the death of Admeth, the Fairkoning relented. Trying to keep control of the Deerwood had become too costly. He signed treaties with the new Duke of the Deerwood and returned his attention to Ridzeris, redoubling efforts on the Vorlus trade, which is still running today. You know, he's got very strong feelings about that purple dye. It says Duke. Duck has a K in it, sweetie.
So does Duke.
But if you think about like someone's ducal duties, right? I'm just gonna go through here. We're good. We're good.
Is it really you?
Yes. Okay. The ambassador lives. He's on his phone right now. We're gonna read all of your books. I hope you don't mind. An unsent letter. Claviger Emond. I know the blighting of the strangle root is a cause for concern, but I must strongly discourage any trade deal that involves buying additional crops from Fior Mes Iverno. We cannot endorse the blasphemous trade of animancy, much less welcome it to our dinner tables. It does seem inappropriate at the dinner table. I guess I'll give you that. That's a pretty cool helmet.
Yeah.
Inquisitor. I have been in Emerald Stair long enough to confirm our worst suspicions. The people of Fior Mes Iverno care not for the laws of mortals or gods. Animancy and folk magic are peddled in defiance of Wodica. Their crimes are innumerable, their way of life intolerable. All is not lost. Politically, they are unstable, too focused on themselves to notice us, our eager hands tightening the garrote. We await your order, your friend in the forest. They really love garrotes. You don't usually hear of paladin types, like, you know, smashing weaponry mostly, I think. The sun does not set on the Adiran language. Those of us who commune with this proud language, or some derivation of it, populate every corner of Eora. Most of us who speak this wonderful tongue know it as Adiran, but scholars and those obsessed with correctness often qualify it as modern or contemporary Adiran. This is to contrast the language you and I speak today with Eld Adiran, the old elven language that was spoken in the Adiran Empire back before the pioneer settlers of the Deerwood built their longships. If Eld Adiran could be considered the mother of the living Adiran, the language of Hillspeak could be seen as Adiran's cousin. Hillspeak is fading from common use, but many of the elves, especially the older one, in the Adiran Heartland still use this dialect. I'm assuming that's supposed to be older ones and not referring to a specific elf.
One really old elf.
You guys know. You know the one I'm talking about. The crowd hoots and cheers. Whether you know it or not, if you can read these words, you can understand Hillspeak. It is almost identical to Adiran, but includes a large vocabulary of archaic words that have fallen out of use in today's Adiran. When you hear bards sing old Adiran poems, there are often lines of chorus that sound like melodic nonsense inserted to complete the rhymes. These are usually instances of words that are lost from our common language, but still used in Hillspeak. While Hillspeak is familiar to speakers of so-called modern Adiran, the same cannot be said of our language's predecessor. Eld Adiran is a dead language, spoken by academics, but not used in any major community. Eld Adiran words are often familiar to Adiran readers, but the words use orthography that has since been abandoned. Unfamiliar accent marks abound. For example, Eld Adiran contains some diphthongs that have no place in the modern Adiran, as well as a few tricky consonant clusters. EA creates Ea. This sounds like the colloquial salutation Heya. EO sounds like Eo. This sound is still used in the modern word Eora. EY is pronounced Ai, such as in wraith. Okay.
Wraith.
Wraith. UE and U umlaut both create long oo sounds as in loop. Y sounds like an E as in B. GJ sounds like the consonant Y as in U. SC sounds like CH, so like you pronounce scop, like shop. CG sounds like the DGE at the end of a word like hedge. And it is not uncommon for given names of Adirans, Deerwodens, and Ridzerans to come from Eld Adiran. Some examples: Aldwin is pronounced Aldwin because of the long vowel sound on the Y. Dernish is pronounced that way. Yeah. Yester, Kjester is pronounced Yester. Slekch is pronounced Sledge. You know, you get it. Ushgrim.
Yeah. This is rad.
Ingmar.
I like this so much. I love it, and I like having a language that's very similar and related. It reminds me of like West Frisian.
Yeah.
Do,
It feels a lot like a lot of oh gosh, what's his name? Tolkien's work, right?
Yeah, well,
Tolkien's work in Middle Earth before he bothered to Middle Earth it. Back when it was just the languages.
Yeah, I mean, the linguistics are. I remember one time I had to do a game about some battles, and I did one about the Battle of Malden, and like the primary source is this poem that's not really, historical very much, but it has the word offer mode, and there's a long thing that Tolkien writes about the word offer mode and all its various meanings, and I love linguistic stuff so much. It is so good. Can we play a game about linguistics sometime? Please continue reading. I'm sorry, but
a little bit. I think we are. Anyway,
okay.
Ambassador, and I would have pronounced this Hilgard before, but I guess it's Heelgard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ambassador Heelgard's journal. I must admit, it is proving impossible to build diplomatic relations. The locals have a natural distrust of outsiders, and we have nothing they want. Inquisitor Lodwin believes that time and pressure will prevail. Would that I shared her confidence. Lodwin. Under her guise, I feel scrutinized, down to the bone, picked apart like carrion, and stared through by a pair of cold, motionless eyes that have glimpsed too far beyond the veil, reducing me to some depraved pilgrim who prays only for her ossified claws to work their way under my skin, liberating me from this pathetic envelope until at last we are bound together as a skeletal pair, limbs intertwined, not as two beings, but as one.
How many metaphors is that?
Buddy, I don't think that's anything that's coming from her. That feels like something that's coming from you. There is no shame in being attracted to power. Nevertheless, I must keep my feelings to myself, lest they be met with revulsion, or worse, enthusiasm. I think that lady could fuck me all the way to death, and I'd probably be into it. Must tread carefully. And who among us, right?
And this is okay.
I can't believe you're alive. When they dragged you to Liviana's clinic, I assumed the worst. How do you feel?
A
I feel
little,
like you tried
a
to
little
kill me,
dead.
motherfucker. I don't.
Oh, we don't have the highest constitution option available here. Listen, I'm fine. So who killed me?
Not even death can slow you down, I see. But we'll return to the topic of your untimely demise shortly. Our first order of business is your purpose here in the Living Lands. You said you had a missive for me from the Emperor?
Oh, yeah, I probably still do. I mean, we're supposed to give it to him, right? This feels like a strange thing to do.
Have we read the missive?
I don't believe so. No, it's probably sealed, right? One would assume.
Yeah, it's your call, sweetheart.
I'm gonna give him the missive. I don't think this guy has what it takes to conceal information from me.
Very good. I'm eager to see what our Emperor intends. Now, His Majesty names you a loyal servant of the Adiran Empire, and an extension of the throne's authority. Thank goodness. At least someone understands the gravity of our situation.
Okay, great. Message delivered. So let's talk about my payment then.
Here's something to tide you over. But your work isn't finished just yet.
I don't think that was very much money.
See how wild the Living Lands has become, both in nature and in politics. Sometimes I think the island has a mind of its own. No sooner had you arrived than you found yourself at the center of our troubles.
you're referring to how I healed the Adra in the Strangle Root. It's weird that it would require a lot of intellect to be able to make that connection.
Well, not to mention your abrupt and untimely death. This embassy has no shortage of political foes, but the Dream Scourge is what keeps me up at night. You've seen firsthand what it can do in nature. We can't let it reach the cities.
Again, a little strange that this requires so much resolve to say, yes, I'll do my job. Good idea. I'm a little, like, I do like the top one, but I'm kind of into 4 as well. Is like almost coming across scolding. Like, here's a question. Here's a thing we haven't really delved into about our character yet. Like, is there a degree of haughtiness here? Like, we know so much and other people often know so frustratingly little. And that eagerness to get underway, to hurl ourselves forward in a way that's not necessarily safe, does that manifest sometimes as a sort of like a, oh my god, get out of my way and let me do it kind of thing?
I don't know. I'm kind of into that.
I think the might as a manifestation of a little bit of a quick temper, perhaps. You should have sent for me sooner. Now it may be too late.
Well, that I had. Inquisitor Ludwig thinks the plague is a distraction.
That's right.
She's more concerned about these local rebels fighting against the Empire.
Did her name have the umlauts in the diary? In the journal? It didn't, right?
Yeah, so he's horny for her, but also, like, really shitty to... Okay. I get this guy.
I think he's just kind of like that.
I think we should kill him, you know.
More concerned about these local rebels fighting against the Empire. Well, I'm not exactly, Adrian Monk, but I assume those are the people responsible for my death.
Your instincts do you credit. They were paradisans once, law-abiding laborers. Now, they're fugitives and oath-breakers hiding amongst the populace. They've sabotaged our work, killed our soldiers, and the final straw, attacked you out in the open.
Sure does feel like the kind of thing that people do to... I'm not saying it's a bloody shirt, but like,
Yeah.
So there's an awfully convenient political underclass ready to be blamed for this thing. And all of the intellect options are pulling us in the direction of blaming them, but I feel like we should be wary.
Yeah.
We don't really have a good option here for that.
No.
These are all kind of buying into the idea.
I mean...
All right, this is at least like an exploration, though.
Okay.
They seem to have it out for us specifically. Do you know why?
Something about labor dispute gone wrong, I think. The Steel Garrote got involved, and it turned quite ugly.
A lot of disputes arise because people here have a strong aversion to being told what to do.
I won't lie to you, Envoy. Our position is tenuous. If we can't even defend ourselves, how are we to defend the living lands? But defend it we must, for the sake of everyone who calls this island home. Inquisitor Ludwig demands that someone hang for the attempt on your life. These Paradisan rebels must face justice.
Yeah, we need to probably have a chat with the Inquisitor. The other thing I did want to note is that I'm very uncomfortable with the way he's like, they were Paradisans once, but now that they've committed crimes, they're no longer, they've been sort of de-peopled.
Yeah, that's not great.
I am very concerned about the thing that is happening in this place. All right, where is this Inquisitor Ludwig that I keep hearing about?
Ludwig goes where she likes, haunting the living lands like a vengeful spirit. She'll reappear when she chooses, and not a moment sooner. Let's make sure to give her some good news for a change.
Not many get a chance to solve their own murder, you know. I know someone who could help. A dwarven tracker named Marius. Kith or beast, there's little he can't find. He's staying at the Grinning Ballarrock, not far from Liviana's infirmary. We just take the main road east to the market, then head down the stairs and cross the canal. Rough part of town, even by the standards of Paradise.
There's a lot of stories where you solve your own murder, actually, now that I think about it. It's kind of weird that's become a trope.
Yeah, especially in this sort of like CRPG slash ImSim kind of space. It's very common for like something horrible happened to you, now figure out what it was and why. In part because there's a lot of versions of that story that let you give the protagonist some kind of plausible amnesia.
Okay.
To let the sort of let the player slot in a little bit more and give the protagonist lots of reasons to ask questions that they should already know the answers to.
I remember when you had me play Disco Elysium, I was like, wow, this is a neat thing where we have amnesia, and you're like, honey, this is not.
Yeah, the weird
thing to be paid.
the weird part isn't the amnesia. The weird part is that in Disco Elysium there's something underneath the amnesia. It's very often the case that there's not really like another person to uncover in a meaningful way. Anyway. You've proven to be capable so far. What can he do that you can't?
Blend in, for one thing.
Okay.
Marius is from the Tusks, about the harshest and remotest place the gods ever created, even by the standards of the living lands.
Trickery, lies. The gods did not build this place.
Let's just say no one survives out there without picking up a few skills, the kind we'll need if we're going to find hidden assassins. Especially if they're from the streets of Paradise.
I suggest you recruit as many allies as you can, but choose carefully. They, like you, will represent the Empire. But before we can send you off to parts unknown, we need assurances from the local healer that you're fully recovered. After all, you survived a brush with death. The health of your body is one thing. The health of your soul is another.
Okay, well, I don't need any such permission. Listen, I can figure this out myself. Just point me toward the nearest lab.
I'm sure that a scholar of your prestige is more than capable of self-diagnosis, but time is of the essence. Remember, the assassin is out there. You have the element of surprise. I suggest you use it.
It's funny that essence was a green word.
Yeah.
That I'm assuming that's getting applied automatically, because obviously that's just a common euphemism, or not a euphemism, but a phrase. I'm assuming that it's just like any word that's on the encyclopedia list gets tagged anytime it appears.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Kai, I need you by my side. You're a great bear distraction. Can I count on you?
Tracking down mysterious assassins with a godlike who returned from death, all while the rumored dream scourge spreads. Can't say I'm prepared, but I'm ready.
We'll talk more of the Dream Scourge when you return. Until then, Envoy.
How about we start with Marius at the Grinning Ballarrock? Besides, I could use a drink after all this.
The skin's
Kai
really drying
charming?
out.
Is he supposed to be charming? Is Kai charming?
Uh,
Are you charmed?
I'm a little charmed. I'm a sucker for directness. So that's doing a lot for me. Kai is very straightforward, and I appreciate that. Hold on a second. We're gonna open up our quest log here real quick as soon as the menu will open. My poor computer. It's trying so hard. Yeah, this should be our active quest here. I wonder what does the sword with the skull on it mean that we're maybe not 100% ready for this? You know, we do have that treasure map. That treasure map refers to a place that's north of town, though. Like we were out there, and I forgot about the treasure map when we were out there. We'll go back after it at some point. Okay, we got to go to Dawnshore for this. We got to acquire some Andra's Kiss. Grows in the chasm east of Paradise. And then the Dawn Treader. Oh, right. We got to go talk to the people at the embassy about the expedition that what's his name killed.
Prince Caspian.
Yep, Prince Caspian. That's it. It's a good way to show that you're definitely paying attention. All right. So way to. Oh, you guys are the appropriate reports.
Hey, it's the envoy.
Envoy, hey.
I swear, I owe you the world.
I forgot that this was what they looked like.
She saved my life, remember?
Yeah, you only told me about 100 times.
Hey, where's Yeda? Is everyone else on their way?
I'm afraid not.
No.
Oh, gods. Does she mean...
They didn't make it, Offric. I'm sorry.
But you saved Cadman. You couldn't save them? Or you didn't try?
What happened?
Maybe two. I don't think they need to know one.
Okay.
Right? Are you
right.
inclined to lay out the whole thing for them?
I mean, that might be. I don't know. Like, I don't know them, so I don't know how much is going to traumatize them or how much they would appreciate having the full details. Would you want the full details?
I would probably want the full details. All right. The thing is, the Oracle ripped their souls from their bodies and put them in his statue.
What?
They probably went quickly, if that helps.
I can't understand this.
Hey, Offric, hey, listen. We always knew that was a risk, right? And we told ourselves.
Better to go out at the bottom of the world or the top. And dying in bed like Granda, asking what if.
Did you avenge them? Is the Oracle dead?
You know what? He is exactly as dead as they are.
At least they got justice.
And I got my brother back.
Don't be a baby. You would have been fine without me.
What I mean to say is, we're grateful, envoy.
There's some chance that they're like all of their soldiers just like actually in there, just kind of swirling around, right? Like,
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
yeah, I don't think honestly, I don't think anybody does, including the Oracle. Well, you're very welcome, both of you.
Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to give you this. It belonged to our grandfather. He'd always wanted to join the Corps, but life got in the way. When we were recruiting, he gave it to us to remind us to live well.
Yeah, how do you decide who gets to wear it? Maybe not the most critical thing at the moment. Well, I'll treasure it. Thank you.
Well, I'm sure you've got big envoy things to do.
I don't know if you heard, but there's a plague on and everything.
If you're ever in High Crown, look us up.
Yeah, we can drink to the Corps together.
I guess they haven't heard the local business. I will. Take care, you two.
I wish things had turned out better for the rest of their crew, but I'm glad they made it. One of them may even get a happy ending.
I mean, you know, seems to me like they both have two working arms. I would think they could both, probably.
They're brothers.
I don't
Sweetie.
fucking...
Don't know how elves work.
Yeah, I don't know how elves work.
Okay. Also,
Nor do I
wanna
want
say-
to. Frankly.
I want to say,
Yeah.
I thought my Prince Caspian Dawn Treader joke was very funny,
I'm sure you did.
and I'm
You think everything you do is very funny.
Wouldn't want their diplomats going hungry.
not
or
everything.
sober.
Alright.
What about that thing I did for you that one time? You know that thing. I didn't think it was funny.
See, this is a great example of the kind of thing I'm talking about. You probably think this bit is funny. It's just a courtyard full of spiders down here.
Guess Adiran discipline doesn't apply to pest control.
Well, I guess we should kill these spiders from a distance. Holy crow, this wand is fucking useless. Alright. We're doing the other thing. Ow. I took a lot of damage there, actually. Honestly, really bad. Alright, thanks, Kai. Good work. He actually did do good work there. Yeah, let's just eat some mushrooms right off the ground. Try to counter some of this poison. It's actually like kind of a lot of poison.
I mean, you should wash or brush them off first before you eat them off the ground, I think. There's actually quite a bit of debate as to whether you should wash mushrooms or just brush them off.
Yeah.
Because of the way it affects the way they absorb the water liquid. Either way, you shouldn't just eat them off the ground.
Definitely gonna just eat these mushrooms off the ground.
You're eating dirt.
Yeah.
I don't think the new owners like
Next one's mine.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to get in here and actually do something, Kai.
Now Kai thinks everything he says and does is funny.
I don't know if it. I don't know. Funny seems strong. I'm sure he thinks of himself generally as witty. You know what? Krakenhorn, that's also good food to just eat off the ground. Horrifying Amabel for some reason. This is a weird area.
You know what? I bet if a spider came to your house, I'd be like, "This is a weird area."
Yeah. Do you think they are thinking that? When the spider gets into your home, they're crawling around and they're like, "What is why? Why have they done this? I don't understand."
Yes, I think so.
Look at all these corners completely unwebbed. Their prey must be getting away all the time.
I'm sure spiders are like really fucking confused by like bathtubs and showers.
Yeah.
Cause like, where is it coming from? Why sometimes, not other times? Why is it wet?
I thought you just meant like the porcelain sort of. You know, you ever see like you ever see a bug like fall into the bathtub and then try desperately to get out?
I have.
And it's just like
I've also seen a mouse do it. It's pretty cute.
it seems sad.
Yeah. I mean, it is, but it's sad. Like, oh, buddy, you're trying. Let me help you out. Let me get you out of there.
Huh. That's interesting. Let's explore down here.
One time there was a snake in a bathtub
Ah, fuck.
when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My uncle got us a snake, and then we didn't have a cage for him, and we put him in the bathtub. And then somehow he ended up outside. We never saw him again. Did not last very long, that snake.
That's a weird story.
It's a weird story. Yeah.
I love that you're fully aware. It's like, yeah, it is.
I mean, I was like 5 or 6, so it was a very confusing thing for me because I didn't want a snake. I thought snakes were pretty spooky. You know. I did, some years ago, I did, like, hyperfixate on snakes and spend, like, hours watching snake YouTube, which is... Turns out snakes are pretty cool, actually. And they're dumb as rocks, and I like that. I like animals that are really dumb.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of animals, right?
Yeah, I like a lot of animals. I like smart animals too. You know, like rats are pretty smart.
They sure are. A band of transcendent suffering? Hold on a second. I realized we didn't actually look at the trinket we got from those guys either.
Right.
So, a band of transcendent suffering, minus 100% damage reduction, but plus 35% melee damage. Honestly, kind of neat. What was
Elder's
the thing they
Caution
gave
is,
us?
Yeah.
A thin band of Adra bisects the center of this simple, unaffected gold ring. The metal is well worn and scratched in places as if it had adorned a laboring hand for many decades. The band's interior is engraved with the words, "Don't look down." But of course it is in black speech, so it's hard to tell. Ashnaj Gimbatul, etc. Amabel, now I'm making a Lord of the Rings reference.
I mean, all right. Well, what I made was a Narnia reference. That's different.
You made a Lord of the Rings reference the other day. It's all listed. It's all one long stream of consciousness as far as I'm
Wait.
concerned.
When was that? What was? I don't remember this.
It was probably about the Balrog. You're always talking about the Balrog.
I'm not. No, I'm always talking about balls.
That's okay. So that's also true. Does not make the thing I said any less correct. It does feel like you should probably not pick the grenade plant right in front of a lot of strangers. I bet people are pretty weird about that.
Yeah.
Hi.
What is that fragrance? It's intoxicating.
You're just a random scholar out here doing what now? Yep, breaking everything. Good stuff. Sure. Take. Once again, I do wish there were more ways to just break stuff down from the environment.
Yeah.
Okay, hold to break down. So we probably don't need this. We probably don't need 4 daggers. Greatsword is just an arquebus that sucks. Wait, a greatsword is just a great hammer that sucks. These other things are unrelated. I guess, yeah, that'll do for now. So I've gotten us all turned around. Are you, hey, how you doing there, friend? Just having a little nap, I guess? Come on, Kyle, let's not disturb him. Let's see on my mini map. Here's the other plant I was seeing. It's remarkably difficult to get. There we go.
Can you eat the grenade plant?
No. No, I don't
What?
believe so.
What kind of immersive sim is this? You should always be able to eat your grenades. I'll say it's about Caves of Cud. I could pour whatever the hell I wanted on myself.
Yeah, you sure could.
Are you just going to stand there and gawk at that body all day?
He's dead. It's not like I can do anything for him, now can I?
You can see that the poor bastard is properly processed. What is this? A charnel house?
First week in the Living Lands.
What's going on here?
Every day someone new turns up dead.
You guys impounding these weapons, or?
You, what are you doing? This is a crime scene. That's evidence.
Okay, I do appreciate them actually responding.
Boy, stay out of her way.
Nah, I've seen worse.
All right, well, I should probably not spoil the crime scene any further.
Yeah, that was really charming.
Okay, activate the fast travel beacon, and then we're told that some of this plant that we're looking for, apparently we're quite close to it.
I wouldn't go up there, stranger. That's Sparrowhawk territory.
Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah.
Hail. I take it you're new to these parts? If so, you're going to want to heed my advice. Up these stairs is the Pearl District. Ever since the Sparrowhawks took over, it's become a right deadly place.
You don't... You're not having a strong reaction to the appearance of this fellow?
No, I am, and the vocal performance is great, just perfect, and I'm sorry, it's hard to vocalize. Just it's like it's a wow situation.
It's exactly what I was saying. Well, it's a good thing I'm a right deadly person.
Oh, watch out for their leader. He's a big, mean bastard, that one.
Big? No offense, but I've eaten chickens bigger than you.
Says you, fish man. Can you believe the cheek on that one?
His performance is so... Can you believe the cheek on that one? What can you tell me about it? Oh no, yeah. Not a big guy.
Please keep talking as long as possible.
Thala the Taskmaster, they call him. An ogre, if you can believe it. Only seen him once, myself, and I hope it stays that way.
I mean, listen, I've met a few reasonable ogres in my travels. They're not all hotheads.
I hope you're right. We'll see soon enough, eh?
So intense. The intensity of his stare is very good. That's my new favorite character.
Yeah, mine too. Why can't he join us?
Friends ain't welcome around the Pearl District. Mind yourself.
God, got a real ugly mug.
Thanks. I'm not disagreeing, just, you know. You think I don't know? Hello? Take some of this. I'll take some of this. I remember when Paradise was a small town. The Claviger, barely even a title at the time, didn't mediate anything more complicated than a bar brawl. And now we have rules we don't understand, restrictions on practices we didn't think to protect, checkpoints, borders, arrests, good folk vanishing in the night. And for what? Blasphemy? Oath-breaking? The laws of an empire full of strangers. Adir is keeping the wilderness at a safe distance, but we don't understand what we gave up in the compromise. I remember when Paradise was a small town. Gods, when did we become a city? Okay, so I mean, like, we're not welcome, but we're also not immediately kill on sight, it seems like.
Yeah, so maybe we'll talk. Maybe that ogre will be reasonable to talk to.
Some kind of treasure in here. I can hear it. Can I?
Can hear your treasure. Give it to me.
It sounds like it's coming. Oh, there it is. Also, I can see from there that it's locked. Somehow. You think they'll mind? I don't think they'll mind. I seem to have locked myself in behind this. Uh-oh. Amabel.
Sweetheart, what did you do?
I got stuck in the corner behind the tree.
Sweetie.
Yeah. It's a very sneaky tree. It grabs you when you least expect it. Alright, new plan. We're gonna okay. The perfect crime.
Alright.
Yoink. Hell yeah, Paradise and Ladder. I'm not even internalizing any of the other stuff. I'm so happy to have found some Paradise and Ladder. And now the question is, can we get back out?
I wonder what a trout pie tastes. That's probably pretty good.
You know, I've never eaten fish pie.
I haven't either. Have you had like a shepherd's pie, like a meat pie?
Well, yeah, I've had shepherd's pie, of course. Amabel, what do I look like? What? A rube? What do I look like? A 2-bit grifter?
those are different things.
Yeah, and do I look like either of them to you? What do you think?
No, no,
Okay, good.
sweetie, I love you, and I say this with all my heart. I
Uh,
don't think you could grift.
You don't think? Okay. Fighting words, basically,
You break it, you buy it.
more or less.
It doesn't mean you're. I trust you very much.
Wonder who he crossed. Doesn't take much out here.
Well,
Those are the papers the Adiran refugees are waiting for.
so they seem to be. Miko, Taskmaster Thala is not an unforgiving man, nor is he cruel. But he is fair, and it's only fair that you be reminded of the money you owe the Sparrowhawks. Taskmaster Thala is also an easy-to-anger man, and you know what happens when he gets angry. You have 1 week to square up your debts with us. No excuses. So was that posted a week before this occurred, or is this like... did they go up together and this is intended to just be sort of like a punctuation mark?
I'm not sure.
Just so you're clear what we're talking about here? Kind of thing?
Yeah.
Well, nobody's like opened up on us so
Watch your
far.
step around here, envoy. This is my district.
You seem rad.
So, the puny godkin wishes to speak with the great Thala. You and your countrymen are not welcome in this district. My district. Is that clear?
Listen, I'm not here to make trouble.
One little slip in my district, Imperial Lapdog, and it'll be the last you ever make.
I mean, I don't think we need to be spoiled for a fight here. Yeah. I know I was talking about kind of viewing our character as someone with a little bit of a temper, but I don't think that's like, this is not some Marty McFly, did you call me chicken type stuff. It's like when she perceives people as being in her way or like doing things slowly, it's rooted in impatience, not insecurity.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, okay.
Now be gone. Thala tires of your yammering.
It feels to me like, a lot of fantasy species have tusks like that.
Yeah.
It feels to me like tusks would be really rough. Like, that would impact your life a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's leave them alone. They look worried for someone.
You know, that's I think generally like big teeth would be trouble, you know.
I appreciate Kai having like there's a thing happening over there, and Kai has the sensitivity to like warn us off, and
yeah.
And I appreciate that is a thing of this game world. There can be people around, doing things that are not necessarily for you. Because sometimes these open worlds can get to feeling a little bit, I might say theme parky,
Yeah. Yeah, there's a... Theme park is a good way to put it. There's kind of a baked in like a myth of individuality where you are the one with all the agency, so everything is for you to be act upon, and everything is for you to do and interact with, and just having people doing their own thing. I think it does make the world feel more lived in, especially any way that it will kind of decenter your primacy and like
Whatever
you get the
man
sense there's
brings
not a quest
cards,
there,
he's bound to lose it.
you know.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that a lot.
Ah, courtesans.
He bores me to death, that's all. He knows Ambassador Hildgard, so we can't throw him out either.
You don't have to listen to him. You just have to look like you are. Amazing what that some will pay for you to bat your eyelashes at them.
Please, tell me more about Audra Charters.
She sounds like she's way further away than she actually is.
Exactly, like that.
They're just going to continue having their conversation staring directly at me.
Charmed,
That's a
I'm
little
sure.
weird.
It is a little
That's
weird.
a little weird.
And again, that's like a little bit of that theme parkiness, right? All the people are just like animatronics. Everything here exists for you.
Yeah.
The Soul Unbound, Chapter 1. Oh no. Oh no, Amabel. Emeranda's flinty eyes flashed as she gripped her saber hilt. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't send you to the wheel. I can't, Endrin raised a golden eyebrow. After all, I am here to arrest you. Emeranda thrust forward. Ah! Endrin flinched away from her blade and raised his chin. Know your way around a blade, do you? Is this your first time? What are you implying? Only that you fight well for an animancer. How dare you? A rake and a liar. Adrin never lost his smirk. Yet you are still blushing. Okay, no, this is like a lemon. The quality of this is low. This is not good romance. What's so funny?
Lemon. I haven't heard that word in such a long time.
Do people still say lemon?
I don't think
it was the term. It was the term of art.
Your viewers are.
It was the term of art when I was a teenager 25 years ago.
You're the talk of the town, envoy. Everyone wants to meet you.
So yeah, what do you figure? I could clean up here, right? Yeah. Yeah, word spreads fast here. Noted.
I like to keep myself informed. In my position, you never know when you'll have to rely on it.
Yeah, I bet you hear all kinds of things in here. Well, what can you tell me about Paradise?
Juliana knows enough dirt to run half of Paradise out of town.
He makes me out to be such a gossip. What do you want to know?
Well, how's the city coping with these Dream Scourge rumors?
As well as you'd expect. It hasn't hurt my business, but I wouldn't give them ideas either. Your ambassador thinks he's going to make the place respectable.
Yeah. I mean, he's not my ambassador, particularly.
What a coincidence. He isn't mine either. Now, if you've come to avail yourself, I'm sorry. We're closed. I'm out of some supplies that should have been here days ago.
Ah.
I hunt them down myself, but I don't have a firm enough hand. I need someone with more authority. Someone, well, someone like you.
You know, it just so happens I found a shipment at the docks. Might this be yours?
It is. I never thought I'd be so glad to see one of these things. You're lucky you're honest. Otherwise, I'd scold you for those sticky hands.
All right. I definitely think we nerd mode it, right? Like, you've learned from a good healer. Hylia's parsley is the safest contraceptive.
You're going to stop talking right now if you know what's good for you.
Careful. This shipment was smuggled for a reason.
All that education and you never learn to leave well enough alone.
No, absolutely not. That's exactly who we are. Oh yeah. Well, it's a good thing you came to me. I'll keep quiet.
Don't you realize walls have ears? If you knew how much was at stake here, you wouldn't have brought it up. I'm the only one left for the people of Paradise to turn to.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. Jeez. I know. That's why no one's going to hear a word about this. I shouldn't have said the thing I said before, apparently.
You, an Imperial envoy, protect me. Don't make me laugh.
Well, I mean, I could certainly do the opposite. She's gotten very aggressive with us. And I understand that I fucked up, but... Okay, listen, I'm not laughing.
If she didn't mean it, she wouldn't have offered.
All right. What do you stand to gain?
Nothing. I'm just gonna shut up. Well, That law could hurt good people. I don't know if this is a thing. Okay, I guess we're involved now.
Yeah.
This is what happens when I open my big mouth.
I mean, let's go with the maybe go with the first one.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sort of wondering if like is the thing to do here is to extend, like, hey, maybe I can work on getting the law changed. But all right, let's just go with the first one. Well, I had a feeling about what was the shipment, and that's why I helped.
Guess I'm not as good a liar as I used to be. I saw the Garrote drag my mother off when I was 17. They had a point to prove, and a lot of good midwives to blame. I owe you an apology, don't I?
It's clearly a sore spot. No, listen, you just did what you thought was right. This it almost feels like we sort of backed into a different outcome for things than
Yeah.
right? Like, no, I think it's good. Your reactions are swinging back and forth very wildly here. Now listen, you just did what you thought was right. I don't think there's anything for anybody to be upset about here.
Still, you earned the truth. Almost no one gets that out of me.
I mean, I already knew the truth.
I've gotten used to Adiran officials making promises they don't keep. When you told me to trust you, well, water under the bridge. Thank you, Envoy. You've done me a favor I won't forget. Come back anytime. I'll leave the light on for you.
Good on you, Envoy. If only more of your countrymen were as reasonable.
I kind of like that from our perspective that went out of control so fast.
Yeah.
And that it turns out to be a thing that she was sore about already because of the events of her life. Yeah, I actually like that a lot.
Yeah. I thought that was really effective, and I like that it happened that way because of the way that you are playing this character.
Mm-hmm.
With like, oh, I'm gonna be a nerd about it and like be a little socially awkward, and I think that's having the opportunity to do that in a game with I think that's good. I think you probably want that in a role playing game, I assume.
So the Night Mistress's favor causes us to long for embrace, slowly regenerate essence while close to a companion. I think, for role-playing reasons, I'm not going to equip this because I don't want to long for Kai's embrace. I don't think our character feels that way about Kai. We should probably equip another ring. I mean, minus 100% damage reduction. That's, So does it, I wonder if it applies to both the categories? We have just a character sheet, right, that has our totaled values on it. Yeah. So if I put this on Transcendent Suffering. Okay, no, it doesn't remove your additional damage reduction, but it also applies. Okay. It's not minus 100% of what you have. It's minus 100% as a raw value. So our 30% becomes negative 70. So effectively, we take 70% more damage and then 13 reduction off of that. That might be too harsh. Maybe we just want the dexterity and parkour speed as our other one.
Okay.
That's a lot of... I'm getting hit a lot in combat, is the thing.
Yeah. I thought that was on purpose. I assumed.
It's a technique, yeah. So we've been equipping this this thing in our other slot, the necklace, the amulet / trinket slot. But I kind of think maybe we want to move up to the steel garrote medallion. Like, we have a lot of coins, and I don't know that we even need the amount that we have. You know, coins are not the thing we're short. So why don't we go to this? Even though the more we learn about how business is being conducted at this place, the less I want to be associated with the steel garrote. Let's just keep on putting on more and more of their stuff. And then we got some points here. We leveled up. So, what do you think?
I don't...
We're doing almost enough damage to kill enemies in a lot of cases. I kind of
Alright.
want to do that. And then, with our ability point... So we unlocked basic Grimoire Mastery. We can learn one of these spells, which will make it more effective when we cast it from the book and also let us cast it without the book, which is kind of nice. Forcefully snap your Grimoire shut, expelling a shockwave of explosive damage. It knocks nearby enemies back and deals stun. I mean, that's cute. Or we can pick up some other stuff here. Power attacks with wands explode on impact. Power attacks with wands bounce to a nearby enemy, dealing reduced damage. Okay, but this like would ensure that they hit something at least, because right now the wand we have is not particularly guaranteed to hit anybody or anything. Or we could continue pushing fighter and just, yeah, getting like maybe a huge amount more damage. I don't think we want to become the unarmed attacking person.
No.
Double the distance of charge. Charge is already quite... I'm taking double distance of charge because think about how good that's going to be for climbing around. In combat or whatever, but mostly climbing around. Mostly the climbing around is going to be very good.
I know mostly. Yeah.
I did lock those in, right? Yeah. Oh, Kai. No. Kai doesn't have one to spend. All right. It's just the notification at the side of the screen. There's just taking a little while to appear. Okay, well, you know what? I think we've had a productive day of talking to people and reading their diaries right in front of them. We've learned a lot of things. I accidentally angered what sounds like the only madam in town, but we fixed it. I think we fixed it. Things are better. Things are better now than they were at the beginning of the episode. When you come back next time, I'm hoping to try to wrap up our business in Paradise because I want to get back out into the world and smash things with a hammer. So come back for that, and we'll see you then.
You will never get back out in the world. 20 episodes deep.